Of night where if you have the option to park in the garage, you'll want to do that. Now, I'm here right now in my safe circle bubble of dryness in our virtual view this morning of Omaha, Nebraska. Just a short walking distance to the Chunk, where the College World Series Championship takes place this weekend. Now, Oklahoma and Ole Miss are going to face off for that title after today's storms. Only an isolated chance for storms tomorrow evening for the game. Hopefully the weather will cooperate and won't look like this as you're trying to get that championship game off. Let's time it out for you because it is Friday. A lot of people are going to be trying to kickstart their weekend, and some of these storms are going to be rolling through as we move through the afternoon and into the evening. So let's head to Omaha and Sioux Falls. Initially starting you out this morning, you'll notice there will be some rain around here or there along that 80 corridor for the early part of the day. But it's as we head into the afternoon and evening that we have a better chance for these storms, stronger storms blasting through, some gusty winds, some large hail certainly possible. Isolated tornado can't completely be ruled out, and of course some heavy rain that's lasting into Saturday morning as well, and then you'll get a little bit of a break as we move through the day on Saturday. A little bit farther north to Grand Forks, we do have a Torcon of 2 to 3. Fargo, you're included in that Torcon of 3, so that means while it's not a huge chance for tornadoes, there's an isolated chance, and that's part of your severe weather risk as we move through your Friday afternoon, evening, and even into the overnight hours. Starting you out at 2 p.m., there could be a few showers around here or there, but generally it's asked you're getting off of work, so I know we hate that. You sit at work all day, right, and then you're getting off. You want to go to dinner or whatever you want to do, but this might not be the best evening for it because these storms are going to be packing a punch. You can see the radar picking up on some of those kind of little white spots within this line of storminess that's sometimes indicative of some really large hail, some really strong storms. You can see kind of the line segment that begins to form after midnight that's blasting eastward of Grand Forks. So it's going to be a messy late afternoon and evening any way you cut it there around Grand Forks and Fargo. To Duluth and International Falls, now you'll notice heading through most of the day being quiet. But again, so the same thing, right as you're getting off of work, you're getting that storm blasting in, this line segment of storms as we head through the overnight as well. So you'll want to plan accordingly. If you have anything you need to do outdoors, do it early on in this area because it's going to be stormy this evening and tonight, Kelly.
All right, speaking of stormy,
refreshing, at least there, not everywhere. We're keeping a close eye on Florida today. It could be a real soaker. Tampa has picked up 5.4 inches of rain this month. That is right about average, but you're going to be anything but average when it comes to temperatures. Look at this. It already feels like 97 degrees. I just can't even deal. I'm going to assume that's right because the temperature's 85. The dew points are way up there. So yeah, it is already just that type of air that you walk outside and you're like, no, I think I'm going to just go back in for now. So the forecast in Tampa for today, getting into the mid-90s, although we could exceed that. What's definitely going to exceed that is the heat index values. You've got a heat advisory going into effect for this afternoon in Tampa, so make sure you're slowing down, taking plenty of breaks. But you'll notice those 90s and storms sticking around. Whenever you have a frontal boundary that doesn't make it all the way through, what ends up happening is it kind of hangs out there around Florida, provides a focal point for that moisture, and that brings us that soupy air that brings us a better chance for rain and storms, exceeding your typical afternoon sea breeze type showers and storms that we're used to seeing this time of year. You can see where we're seeing some of the highest totals across portions of South Florida, 2 to 3 inches, maybe there even in Southwest Florida. More than that, it could add up pretty quickly with some of this moisture that we're seeing. And we've got that possibility for some strong to severe storms from South Georgia down through Lake Okeechobee, Sebring included in that. Quiet this morning, but that's going to change by this afternoon with those storms blasting up, Kelly.
And coming up,
a bit of a break so far this hurricane season, some of us anyways, so just go ahead and be prepared. Hey, let's talk about sports. Let's head, I have to correct myself because my script earlier said the Chunk, and anyone who heard me say that is laughing at me. It's the Chuck in Omaha where this game is taking place, Oklahoma and Ole Miss. You can see the weather should be just fine. This is going to be tomorrow around 6 p.m. Any storms that are left over should be cleared out by then. The Dodgers taking on the Braves at Truist Park. There is that chance for a few storms around in Atlanta today. It's going to be another stuffy one, but maybe not quite as hot as it has been. To Cromwell, Connecticut, where the Travelers Championship is taking place, and it's going to be hot weather throughout the weekend. Definitely plenty of hydration needed and some sunblock as well. And then we've also got this going on in Nashville, the Ally 400.
the summer season.
Yeah, you know, every time we talk about the heat, there's always someone who's saying, oh, it's summer, it's supposed to be hot. But this is like above average.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, heat that's not
I saw you
away.
getting sassy on your Instagram.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta throw the sass out there because it's like, you know, not everyone has AC at home. Not everyone works inside all day. I drove past a crew of guys working on the road the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have to be so hot right now. So don't be selfish. Just know that we're here and we're telling you about the heat for a reason. Especially when you have heat advisories, when you have excessive heat warnings, you have to know that the Weather Service, they issue those warnings for a reason, and it's because it's dangerous. Now, our temperatures right now already in the lower 80s in Dallas, lower 80s in New Orleans, Orlando sitting in the lower 80s as well. Nashville, I'd say you're probably about the only comfortable spot on the map, and the reason is your dew point is also pretty reasonable. Atlanta 76 doesn't seem like it'd be uncomfortable, but we've got a dew point really close to that, so it's still very muggy out there. Here are our heat alerts that I was talking about. You can see those heat advisories in the red, the excessive heat warning for portions of Louisiana there around Lake Pontchartrain, getting in on that, New Orleans, and then of course southern portions of Mississippi as well. So when you have those heat issues, those heat advisories, those excessive heat warnings, it means it's dangerously hot and you need to take extra precautions. You have some potential record highs across the south. You can see Shreveport, the forecast is for 101 degrees. That would tie the old record. New Orleans, you're a little ways away, but Meridian, it looks like you could break your old record of 100 degrees. Highs across the south today are above average. We're going to be in the triple digits in Tallahassee, the upper 90s in Jackson. And here's the other part of the equation that's making it really, really hot, feel even hotter than it actually is, and that is the dew points. It's going to make it feel like the triple digits when you factor in that dew point for places like New Orleans. That's why we have that excessive heat warning. When you have a dew point up around 75, you just absolutely cannot cool off. Definitely, especially if you're dealing with wet roads. Let's take a look at our Subaru safe driving forecast because some of us will still be dealing with some of that rain and those wet roads. So here's what it's going to look like through Salina along that I-70 corridor. Wet, stormy at times, especially as we head through the evening. Kansas City, you're not quite done with those showers and storms just yet up through San Joseph. Everywhere that you see the green is indicative of wet roads that you'll have to deal with. Through Des Moines, some ponding certainly possible there along that 35 corridor. And heading north to Fort Dodge, you've got that chance for some stronger storms. Looking north of Minneapolis, the chance for storms, rain, ponding on the roadways. You've got it all. Damaging wind gusts as well. Here is a closer look at that risk for severe storms today across the northern tier, encompassing that 29 corridor through North Dakota, through portions of northern Minnesota as well. The best chance for those feisty storms going to be this afternoon into this evening and tonight. We've got wind, we've got hail, and we've got that chance for isolated tornadoes as well. And then, of course, with this much feist in the atmosphere, you could have a little bit of flash flooding in some localized areas as well. To the south now, we've got that risk for some storms that could bring some damaging wind gusts. I know it's the rainy season across Florida. You're typically used to these afternoon storms, but we've got a boundary that's kind of washed out and is providing a focal point for a bit more than just your average afternoon rainy season storms across the Sunshine State and across South Georgia as well. You can see much of the state included in that, from the Lake Okeechobee region all the way up through Tallahassee and Jacksonville today. So, Steph, that's what you're going to be dealing with if you're traveling across portions of the country.
And speaking of
afternoon, so let's take a look at your beach forecast for this region. Your temperatures are going to get really toasty. So if you do like the cooler air, enjoy it while you have it right now. 94 is the forecast in Green Bay, 87 in Milwaukee, Alpena headed for the upper 80s. Detroit, same thing for you, upper 80s for you guys. The forecast for Sleeping Bear Dunes, 91, the burn time, 15 to 25 minutes. That water, 54 degrees. So that will definitely give you a nice little splash of cool down with the temperatures in the 90s if you wanted to get in. A bit of a light breeze there in Grand Haven. Plenty of sunshine, though, if you want to set out and soak that up. Just make sure you've got the sunblock. North Avenue Beach there in Illinois, 91 will be the temperature. Your burn time then is less than 30 minutes. So if you're maybe taking a walk to the beach, you want to make sure you put the sunscreen on before you leave home. Sunset Beach, Michigan today, lower 90s. Same thing on Saturday. And then you get a nice little break from a bit of a front that moves through, and that is going to cool you down significantly. Look at that change in temperatures from the lower 90s on Saturday to the mid 70s on Sunday. So if you like the warmth, Saturday is your day. If you like something a little bit more cooler, a bit more pleasant, Sunday or Monday might be your day. 72 and sunny. I'd say Monday looks like a great day there in Sunset Beach, Michigan. Maybe not get in the water type of day, but sit by the water type of day.
Say if you and I were going there, we would not be getting in that water with those water temperatures of what, 50 something right now?
Yeah, no, I might dip my toe in, but I'm not submerging
Let's
myself.
stick to the beach with a nice cocktail
There
and
we go.
enjoy the sun.